Here's the World War.
Israel has declared it is at war after Hamas militants confirmed they fired thousands of rockets from Gaza overnight in a major multi-front surprise attack. Sirens wailed across Israel, where health ministry officials say more than 20 people were killed in the land, sea, and air attack. Civilians in the south and central regions are being warned to shelter in place. Israel says it has mobilized tens of thousands of reservists, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed Hamas will pay a heavy price. Imtiaz Tayyab has the latest.
Good morning. Well, at least 22 Israelis have been killed and hundreds more wounded in an unprecedented attack by Hamas fighters inside Israel. It started with an early dawn rocket attack that lasted for nearly half an hour. Hamas said at least 5,000 were fired from inside the Gaza Strip, landing as far into Israel as Tel Aviv, causing widespread damage. But what followed next has rocked Israel's defenses. Heavily armed Hamas fighters breached the Gaza barrier wall with southern Israel and stormed the streets of nearby border towns, setting Israeli tanks on fire in an assault Hamas are calling Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. Hamas posted footage online of what it said was bodies of Israeli soldiers brought into Gaza by its fighters. CBS News has not been able to verify the footage. But Israel's military have confirmed that heavily armed gunmen had crossed the Gaza border fence in several locations. And there are also reports that Israeli citizens have been taken hostage. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said Hamas will pay a, quote, unprecedented price for this major attack, while Hamas is calling on other armed groups to join the fight, as hundreds of Palestinian families flee their homes over fears of what will come next.
Vladimir Putin has announced the successful test of a new generation of nuclear-powered cruise missile. It's part of a program unveiled in 2018 to develop intercontinental and hypersonic missiles. This is file video of a current Russian cruise missile. The latest version is known by NATO as the SCC-X9 Skyfall. Its nuclear propulsion allows for near unlimited range, and the low-flying stealth projectile could be capable of outmaneuvering missile defense systems. Here's President Putin speaking on Thursday in Sochi.
I want to assure everyone that at the moment, the response from Russia to a nuclear strike on its territory is absolutely unacceptable for any potential aggressor. Because from the moment the enemy missile launch is detected, no matter where it comes from any point in the world's oceans or from any territory, in a retaliatory counterstrike, so many hundreds of our missiles will appear in the air that not a single enemy will have a chance of survival in several directions at once.
The U.S. on Thursday said it shot down an armed Turkish drone that was operating near its troops in Syria, the first time Washington has brought down an aircraft of a NATO ally. Here's Pentagon Press Secretary, Air Force Brigadier General Pat Ryder.
U.S. commanders assessed that the UAV, which was now less than a half kilometer from U.S. forces, to be a potential threat, and U.S. F-16 fighters subsequently shot down the UAV in self-defense at approximately 11:40 local time. It's important to point out that no U.S. forces were injured during the incident. We have no indication that Turkey was intentionally targeting U.S. forces. Turkey is one of our strongest and most valued NATO allies, and that partnership continues and will continue. So this is certainly a regrettable incident.
This video showed smoke rising from various sites thought to have been targeted by Turkey in a Kurdish-controlled region. A Turkish Defense Ministry official said the drone shot down by the coalition did not belong to the Turkish armed forces, without saying whose property it was. U.S. support for Kurdish forces in northern Syria has long caused tension with NATO ally Turkey, which views them as a wing of the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party, the group which claimed Sunday's attack in Ankara near government buildings. Separately, aerial footage released by Turkey's National Intelligence Agency on Thursday showed various drone attacks on what it said were Kurdish targets in Syria.
The threat from China that is forcing a major shift in the United States military tonight. The Army is reportedly cutting 10% of its special forces, about 3,000 troops. It includes Green Beret commandos, some of the military's most feared and most highly trained soldiers. They are used for the most dangerous missions around the world, like taking out Osama bin Laden. And this all comes as fewer Americans are signing up to serve our country in the military. News Nation's Evan Lambert is live with us tonight with more on these controversial cuts. Evan, these are really creating quite a backlash among some branches of the military.
Elizabeth, they are. The proposed cuts, they are significant. We're talking about 10% of the current Army Special Forces. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. This is an apparent shift in strategy from the kind of warfare fought with special forces in Afghanistan and Iraq to the larger number of ground forces needed to counter the current threat from China. Army Special Forces, including the famous Green Berets, have played significant roles in clandestine military missions throughout our history. More broadly, the Special Operations Command, which includes Green Berets and Navy SEALs, Marines, and Air Force Special Forces, were behind the killing of Osama bin Laden and ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
I'm going to leave it at that. There's an earful, to say the least. First of all, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. All right, double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that root well. Peace and salutation to the Akim that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, waking up the hopeful elect and risking your lives and freedoms to do so. Definitely more so now than ever before. This is the brother Zion Amar from the GMS Detroit by Camp. And this is just going to be a quick lesson, all right, regarding the signs of the times, regarding the prophecies, all right, concerning World War III, which will transpire, that's without a shadow of a doubt. Just showed you a few clips there to show you that the spirit of war is in the air, all right? The first clip we saw, you know, they say in Washington, D.C., right, you're seeing basically, tanks, all right, being ushered into the city. Right? What's going on? What are they looking to defend? All right. And basically, they're looking to defend themselves. All right, against the people. All right, because this American society is going to collapse on itself. All right, and they're gonna want to make war. All right, with the government officials. All right, with the government itself. All right, because people are tired of being sick and tired. But as well as, you know, so basically civil wars, race wars, all right, that's all going to culminate because you have, let's see if I can find that clip.
See it again.
I didn't know that,
what's happening.
Let's talk about the world.
Ve yerleşik
beginning stages. The Lord said he was sending fanners, all right? Meaning, you know, when you fan a flame, you know what I'm saying? That flame, you know, starts out small, right? But as you fan it, right, you keep adding oxygen to that fire is going to eventually engulf. I mean, it's going to boil over. And that's what you're seeing in the world, all right? All these different commotions of wars and rumors of wars, all right? It's gonna blow up, all right, into the World War III situation, you know, because that's how America is gonna go out. America will be laid waste, all right, after World War III transpired, right? Which is gonna culminate of all these nations coming against America, aka Babylon, as it's known in the scriptures, all right, and they're gonna shoot their arrows, aka missiles, all right, upon this place, all right, to the point you will have 200 million warheads rain upon Babylon the Great. Because why? Because this is the capital of sin, all right. This is where all the sin, all the iniquity, wicked thoughts and ideas are made great, are made, are held to a high esteem on a high level, all right? And through America, all these other nations that follow after them, that drink of that wine, all right, which are the philosophies, all right, they tend to go off, all right? They worship idols, all right? They allow women to be over men. They basically are into that just that mo lifestyle. Right, that's the best way I can say that. Right, so where just basically as a do what you want to do type of lifestyle. All right, there is no morale, all right, in the world. There's no order. You see, so the Lord is gonna take this bitch out by way of fire. And the way the Lord has to do that, he has to stir these nations up to fight, all right, to war against one another. You see? And the scriptures say what? It's a time for everything. So I want to get that real quick. This is, I see that the time of partying and bullshitting is over with. All right? Time of, all right, enjoying America, living it up, living your best life, that's all gone now. All right, we in coming into the time of Jacob's trouble, all right, to where, all right, your American government is gonna come against you Israelites out there, all right. Israelites being so-called Negroes, Latins, and Native Americans, they're gonna come against you, all right. Because this country was never for you, right? Since its inception, right? They came in murdering, lying, stealing, cheating, all right? And that concept has not changed, all right? They still hate you, right? Because of the blessing you possess, the birthright, right? Which is basically the kingdom of heaven, okay? Rulership. Right, these heathen nations starting with Esau, Edom, they lust after that, they desire that. All right, but hey, a deal's a deal. And the Lord already made his promise. Esau, Edom is living in his blessing right here and now. So, and he see that his blessing is slowly fading away. All right, it's being pulled from his grips. All right. So Esau is going to basically glory in his blessing, which is the sword, all right? But his blessing of the sword is not going to save him, all right? It's not going to save him out of this one because America's army is spread too thin. You see, they have their nose in everyone's business, all right? And they're not able, to the point they're not able to defend their own country. All right, and this is basically all coming from the elites, all right, because they trying to have this society, break. They're trying to break this society, right? Because they want to usher in, right, their NWO system, all right, which is going to be comprised of a digital system, all right, the MOTB, right, and these are just some of the few final prophecies, all right. The MOTB being pushed on a global scale, all right, to where it'll be forced. You'll have to make a conscious decision on if you take up that MOTB or not, and then ultimately World War III. World War III. Hey, that's the time we're in, man. We're in the time of war. These nations are gearing up, because what they all hate the whore. At the end of the day. All right, but real quick, this is Ecclesiastes 3, and I started 1, and it reads, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die." All right, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal. All right, we're looking for the Lord to heal us. He's healing us now, right? with this word, right? With the truth, right? With the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of this word, of this Bible, right? That's how the Lord is comforting us. He's healing our spirit, right? To give us a sound mind, to give us a peace of mind, right? Through the scriptures, that we may have hope, right? Because we know what's going to transpire. We already see it and know how it's going to play out. You see, all we got to do is hope that we're of the elect. You see, it says a time to break down and a time to build up. The Lord is breaking down America and he's building up the kingdom of heaven, starting with the first fruits, the elect. You see, it says a time to weep and a time to laugh. Hey, 2/3 of our people are going to weep greatly, all right, because they did not get this word when it was as it was readily available unto them. You know, what's that in Proverbs, the first chapter? It says, wisdom crieth without, you know, the chief place of concourse, you know. But, you know, fools hate knowledge, you know, rather than wisdom, just roughly paraphrasing. All right, our people are sottish and foolish. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to get the understanding. They don't want to be warned. They want to be told smooth things. They want to be told everything is going to be A-okay. Even though we just saw in the clips, all right, that the warfare is serious. Ain't nobody playing. All right, these nations ain't playing. These nations have not, you know, invested all their time, their efforts, all right, money, all right, in nuclear technology, not to use it. You see, it's not going to sit in a museum somewhere, all right? All the weapons of war are going to be utilized, all right? It says a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. It says a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose. All right? This is a time to keep and a time to cast away. Right? You need to cast away the thoughts of America continuing on. All right? Hey, as the scriptures say, this is not your rest. All right? So you have to come out of her, as it says in Revelation 18 chapter, spiritually. All right? You got to come out of this place, you know, according to your spirit. All right, to the point you're already fed up, you're done, you're over this place, right? You know that America has nothing to offer you. You know that the American dream is a farce, all right? It's just that it's a dream, all right? For you to, you know, to take hold of that dream, you got to be asleep, right? So 2/3 of our people are asleep, all right? Even though the scripture says it's high time to wake out of sleep, you see? Our people are fast asleep. They're you know, they're being pacified and lullabied to sleep, right? And hey, that's all the plans of this devil, right? He works night and day to do just that, to keep you asleep. That's one of his war tactics, all right? Because he understands when the nation of Israel wake up, all right, that's the end, that's the fall of his kingdom, and it's happening. All right, this devil, he can't upset prophecy. There's nothing he can do. All right, there's nothing he can do. All right, the more he try to upset prophecy, the more he's fulfilling prophecy. All right, because the Lord got this devil paid. All right, he created him. All right, you know. It says a time to rent and a time to sow. A time to keep silent and a time to speak. All right, hey, we're in a time of speaking, prophesying. You know, scriptures say that basically his watchmen would never hold their peace. Roughly paraphrasing. You know, that this word is in our bones as a fire. You know, we gotta let it out. We gotta release. Now, like the Lord told us to warn His people. Right, word to Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. You know, that's our job. That's our duty. You see, so we keeping, you know, hey, we doing that. But hey, the Lord also told us as we're doing that, hey, our people not gonna listen. You know, hey, the Lord know our people, hey, better than they know they own themselves. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, we still have that duty. You have to do what we're supposed to do in terms of warning and prophesying, so that 2/3 of our people will be without excuse. You see, it says a time to love and a time to hate. All right, you're supposed to love the brotherhood. You're supposed to hate your enemies, and your enemies being these heathen nations. All right, and even 2/3 of our own people, they're likened it to a heathen because they have the mindset, all right, of a heathen. All right, they worship what they worship. Right, they follow their ways rather than the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You see, it said, "What profit have he that worketh in that wherein he laboreth? I have seen." Oh, Salaki, actually, and this the point I want to hinge on. It says, verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. You see that in that order because, hey, we can't have peace, all right, except for war to transpire, you know, and that's what the Lord coming with. He's coming to make war, all right, with these heathen nations. He's going to put all these kingdoms down, all right, and show that he holds the crown, him alone. All right. This is Revelation 19 and 11. It reads, "And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And that white horse is a chariot, a so-called UFO. All right, because hey, that's also part of the signs of the heaven. All right, that's how the Lord is returning. Right, in the clouds of heaven, i.e., chariots, so-called UFOs. They're going to blanket the sky, black out the sky. All right? It says, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. All right? And that's exactly what he's coming to do. He's going to judge all these heathen nations with fire, with destruction. You see? The laser beams coming out of the chariots, all right, turning men to smoke and dust, zapping these heathen nations. Again, they're zapping 2/3 of our people, you know. All right, that's going to be the time of judgment, man. Another scripture I want to get to refer back to the issue in Israel right now, right? Because now that that's happened, you're seeing like postings saying pray for Israel. All right, the hell with that. All right, that's the wicked that's in that land. That's not the true Israelites. They even call them their own self Israelis, all right, because they understand that they don't go back to the ancestry, all right, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, they go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Edom. All right, Edom being the first progenitor of the white race. All right, so those people in the land are not the true people of the Lord. All right, they're imposters. All right, and hey, those Palestinians over there, they know that, they understand that. But hey, in the same breath, don't get it twisted, because hey, you Palestinians, you don't have rights to that land as well. You know, neither one of those nations. All right, and that's why this war been stirring up ever since, because the proper people are not in the land. All right, the real people are not in the land. All right, the earth will not have peace until that happens. You see, but real quick, this is the scripture saying to pray not for the wicked. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna pray for the devil. I'm talking about pray for Israel. Hey, you put yourself in that situation. Ultimately, the Lord put you in that circumstance. But all of this is happening to stir up World War III. Because the scriptures also say the least of the flock should draw them out. Right? The least of the flock are those Amalekites, right? Those rats, right? They're the basest of men, all right? And through these skirmishes, these wars, all right, these lesser wars, all right, it's gonna force America to step in, because Israel is an ally to America, you see? So basically, when Israel fights, America fights, all right? But in the same breath, America is also an ally to Ukraine, all right? So these are two big deals, two major conflicts, all right? That's just gonna spread. It's just gonna increase, you know. Till America basically got their hands full. All right, they're not gonna be able to defend themselves against all these different nations, because when you're dealing with the Russia-Ukraine conflict, all right, you got to deal with China, you got to deal with Iran, which is Persia. Okay, you got to deal with all these other nations. You got to deal with Turkey, So, again, America got their work cut out for them, and they're going to lose drastically, all right? Because that's the judgment written. But real quick, this is Joel 3. I'm going to read this and then jump up. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up." It says, "Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears," which plowshares and pruning hooks are tools used for farming, for agriculture. All right. Now, in these recent decades, you've been having all nations around the world forsake that, or more so, they're using more of their budget, their spending budget, on warfare or nuclear missile information, the technology, how to go about, creating these devices, because these are the weapons, all right, the arrows that's going to be shot on America, all right? It says, "Let the weak say I am strong." So, right, all these lesser nations, they be strong now because they have the same technology that America has. And not only that, it's up to date. You know what I'm saying? You got Russia that has hypersonic missiles, China that has hypersonic missiles. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no missile defense that's gonna be able to deal with that. Now, not only that, the amount, okay, you talk about 200 million warheads. Okay, America, they the hammer of the earth, but they ain't got nothing that can deal with that, right? According to prophecy, I want to jump up. This is Joel 3:1, because like I say, both of these nations are dealing with these Israelis and these Palestinians. They both think they have rights to the land, all right? That's why they've been warring for all these, decades now, all right? Because they both feel that they have a place in the land, which neither of them do, all right? There won't be peace until the true Israelites are put back in that land, all right? And the Lord is going to set us in that land, not of our own self, all right? But this is Joel 3:1, and it reads, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem." See, the Lord is looking to save his people, right? That's what Matthew 1:21 is all about. That he's coming to save his people from their sins. His people being the Israelites, right? Because remember, Yahushua is a Judite, all right? He's an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, all right? So quite naturally, his people would be other Israelites, All right, it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which means the Lord's judgment, Yahweh Shaphat in the Hebrew. It says, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, means he's going to judge them there, right? Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. All facts, all right? Because those Arabs, they helped, all right? They helped those Edomites, all right? Scatterers, all right? Sold us, all right? Sold us to those Edomites, all right? And had us, what they call the transatlantic slave trade, all right? You know, for there to be a trade, multiple nations will have to be involved, right? All right, and one of those nations were those Arabs, right? As well as Edom, all right? And they scattered us throughout the four corners of the earth, right? And in the process of time, right, they parted that land to this very day. That land is parted, right? Ultimately, amongst, right, those fake imposters, those rats, right? You know, so-called Palestinians, those Arabs, Ishmael, all right? It says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and served a girl for wine that they might drink, which these things happened during slavery, all right? It says, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. That's right. And the Lord is doing it by bringing all these nations to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, so that they can basically kill each other, do warfare, right? And for whoever's left, all right, the missiles gonna hit, you know? Because the chief place for the missiles to hit is America, but other various parts of the earth are going to be destroyed, all right? Israel being one of them, because that land has to be cleansed, all right? The Lord's not going to set us in no defiled land, all right? It says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things. Yep. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, all right? Who are the Greeks, all right? So-called white people, all right? What they say, civilization started with the Greeks, all right? Going back to basically who they praise, Alexander the Greek, all right? They want to call him Alexander the Great because he was great, chiefly in wickedness, all right? Great in murdering and slaughtering people, all right? That you might remove them far from their border, which that's a fact. We in America now, all right? You know, which is prophecy, all right? According to Deuteronomy 28th chapter, 68th verse, you know, but we've been removed far from our border, all right? And that's a curse, all right? You know, but yet, hey, the Lord is going to put us back in our own land, all right? Pursuant to Isaiah the 14th chapter, all right, verses 1 and 2. It says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head, which the bulk of the salvation is going to come from America, all right? Because, hey, you got all nations here. This is the great melting pot. All right, it's a blend of all nations here. All right. Also, that's why this you know, in the same breath, this is the place to be judged. All right, because this place is a bit clusterfuck of confusion. Coincidentally, that's what Babylon means. All right, the land of confusion. It says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to people far off, to a people far off. For the Lord have spoken it. That's right. Hey, we're going to have our own slave trade, all right? Because you other nations are going to be servants unto us, all right? And we're going to be selling you, all right, to other nations. We're gonna be selling you to other brothers. You know what I'm saying? Brothers, need some servants to do some work. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be passing you off. All right, just like you did unto us. You know. So that's the reason. All right, the spirit of war is in the air, because the Lord is. This is how the Lord is gonna bring in the kingdom of heaven. Right? He has to have these nations destroy each other. All right, destroy America. All right. Esau has to be laid down for Jacob to be raised up. You see? So, hey, Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise and honor and glory due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and salutation to the Akim that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.